another Creative Women mini-con. Unfortunately, we're doing it online, but we have a host of ladies to introduce you to tell you what they're doing, show upcoming projects, more importantly, show you how to get a hold of them online since we're not doing it in person, to support them. And we're kicking it off this morning with Liana Kangas. Thank you for joining us for the Creative Women.
So much for having me. It's so good to be here. This was like such a cool invite, so I appreciate it a lot.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you joined us. We've actually we've talked to you before on some of our interview series.
Yes. Yeah.
But this is something that's really special because not only have we not talked to you in a while, but it's a day dedicated just to the creative women in the industry. And you have been doing quite a bit lately. So
yeah, since we last talked.
You have been. Yes, because last time we talked, it was She Said Destroy, but there's so much more on your plate. But before we get to that, let's tell them a little bit about you. What got you interested in comics, and what made you decide that this is something that you wanted to do for a living?
Oh gosh. Well, it kind of helped that my old town shop, Famous Faces and Funnies, was like a really cool spot to hang out at, and Rick, the store owner, was awesome and let me like help out and work there, and seeing the retail side of things and like going to cons and things like that made me meet all my favorite creators, you know, loving comics and everything. So kind of hard to stay away from wanting to do it after, you know, meeting everybody and seeing how cool the industry was. So I would say that's the most simple part. But now, like, hello to my nieces if they're watching, but they like, they're so proud of me and talk about me all the time. And so that makes me really love doing it too. So
now you have some accountability because they're going to expect you constantly, which is great.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to me that the community that you mentioned is one of the things that made you want to be part of this, because the comic community is so close knit, and it's amazing. You go to cons and it's people from across the country, across the world, different interests, different genres. But when you get together, it's almost like a family.
Absolutely. There's a whole bunch of people in the chat too that are like among my closest friends, especially in comics, you know, and like even seeing people like, I guess Dennis is a local of your shop and he's a part of like my Patreon crew and stuff like that. And it's just really easy to connect with people that are, you know, super nerdy and like love all the same things, or maybe you can introduce them into things that, you know, are in similar genres, or, you know, even like, I don't know, finding common ground outside of comics too. So it's nice. It's like the best way to make friends of all time.
It really is. It's just such a fun thing. Now, interested in comics and wanting to do them are one thing, but you are an artist. And how did you get involved in this? Because you weren't doing art for a living prior to this. And then you got hooked up with Vault on She Said Destroy. So how did that happen?
I love drawing. I used to be like super big into fine art, and so like I've taken tons of classes like in college and outside of college, like workshops, to paint and do creative things like that. And I think when I realized that there was like a storytelling aspect that was a challenge, I realized that I wanted to do it, and so I sort of did it when I got my first tablet and had a little bit of fun with that. And I think my knowledge prior to breaking into comics, which was like mostly marketing and recruiting and things like that, it sort of helped me like boost into the industry. Like even just knowing a couple people previously from retail kind of gives me like, I would say not a leg up, but it like made it easier to understand the process. And so one of my favorite things is obviously to share that knowledge with other creators or like aspiring creators. And then I just ended up drawing constantly, and you know, the best way to make a comic is to draw it. So it's just like draw all the time.
So you mentioned the tablet. You draw on tablet as well as traditional?
Yeah, so right now I mostly just do traditional commissions, but I will be doing a short that's all traditional at some point soon for something I don't think is announced yet. And I like I like challenging myself. I think sequentials traditionally, when I see other creators do it mostly traditional, I have such a high respect for them because most of the books, like she said, Destroy, I did digitally. So it's I always want to learn new things, and it'll be a fun challenge to try and do the traditional way.
Okay, well, let's talk about your works then. When we first noticed you, I think, well, when everyone first noticed you, was She Said Destroy over at Vault Comics. We love Vault Comics over here, and there is the trade paperback right there. So tell us a little bit about She Said Destroy, because the issues are done, but people can still get those volumes off the shelf of their local comic shop.
Absolutely, yeah. So Joe Corallo and I co-created She Said Destroy. It's about two space goddesses that are sisters that are essentially at odds of how they want to essentially run their own communities. And so it's sort of like, I would say Star Wars sort of mixed with Wicked and Divine and things like that, if you like this sort of thing. And it's like big sci-fi fantasy. So it was probably the coolest thing to design most of the characters and like fun ships that looked sort of like fantasy castles and things like that. But if you like, women-led books, which I hope you do since you're here at this con right now, then this is definitely like a good, it's one volume short, easy to get into, it's a quick read, I think, so.
Okay, and if you're not in Sacramento, because obviously we're going to have it on the shelf. If you're not in Sacramento, go to your local comic book shop. If they don't have it, request it, because they can easily order it and then get it in directly for you. And hopefully they'll get a couple extra for the shelves. Now, you've worked with Vault. One of the things that I discovered that was a lot of fun is we ordered through TKO Studios, and I was doing my order. I got my books in, and we came across a short with your name on the front, which was exciting. That it was really neat to see. So how did you get involved with TKO Studios?
So one of the things that I love about TKO is that Z and Sebastian, who essentially run the publishing company, they outwardly ask other creators to recommend and suggest people for them to go visit at conventions and things like that. And that's actually how I met Z and Sebastian, actually, was at Emerald City Comic Con a couple years ago. And they were so cool, so nice. And Z reached out to me to, include me in this really cool short series. And Z had asked if I ever considered writing. And of course I have, being an artist, I love creating, and like sometimes storytelling while drawing is much like writing, right? So when I did it, I was like, how do you feel about a co-writer? Because I haven't 100% done a full published writing script or anything like that, which is actually how Joe Corallo is on this one. So we had just wrapped up She Said Destroy, and it was kind of easy to be like, do you want to do this with me? And so essentially the rest is history. When Sebastian, our editor, was giving us like ideas to pitch and stuff like that, we hadn't nailed down the artist quite yet, I don't think. And because Paul is like a friend of mine, we reached out, especially because I guess Sebastian and Paul had previously worked together at Marvel. So it just kind of laid out perfectly and was just a great experience. This is probably one of the biggest things I'm proud of. It's a space horror, which, doesn't happen very often. And it's probably the best thing I've ever written right now, maybe. I just keep getting back. I don't know. But it's great. There's a whole bunch of preview pages on the TKO website too. And Paul's art is just incredible. It's so good. And as you can tell, totally matches my aesthetic. So
it very much does. The colors are all there too. You can see the transition. Now, a little history for everybody who doesn't know about TKO Studios. It's books that you might not see in your local comic shop. So again, you're going to want to talk to your comic shop, because they don't go through the normal distributors. They go directly to retailers. So if you're interested in some of their books that they have out, and they've got a lot of names on their books, talk to your comic shop. They can order directly from TKO and get you those books in. And the neat thing about the book that she just showed you is it's issue number 1, but each issue is a standalone. So if you see it on the shelf and you're interested in what you see in issue 3, don't feel intimidated. Pick up whichever one you want, and you can try it. But of course, number 1 is what we want you to pick up, because that's what you did. So, but I mean, that's exciting. And then there's even more news. It just doesn't stop. You did a successful Kickstarter as well. I should say, I'm going to rephrase that. A very successful Kickstarter for your book. So what is the book, and what's the hook?
So also hello to Jaslyn, our marketer on the book. True Cult it's a fast food crime heist book. It's described lovingly as satanic panic with a side of fries. It's about Marty. He's essentially working at this fast food joint, and he's like so done with how kind of bland and everything is with his life. And so he tries to go rob a couple stores and end up coming across this record that is highly sought after by a cult. And so he ends up getting mixed with like a bunch of bad people. But I'm trying to here we go. The first issue is a lot of pages. I think it's I want to say 40 something pages worth of content in here. You can only get the printed version on the Kickstarter. I have 1 or 2 copies in my shop right now just for this convention. However, it's available on Gumroad. Super easy format to read, and actually issue 2 is already available to read on Gumroad as well. So it's probably, this is completely creator owned. Scott and I had a really fun time. Scott Brian Wilson, he's written things like Star Trek and Batman and things like that. We've had complete and utter control over it. We've had really cool pop-up shops that Jaslyn helped us run. So if you've seen the shirts like Read Comics, Stand Satan, that's us. And it's been probably one of the coolest projects. And we are about to wrap up and release issue 3. And there's only 4 issues, so we're almost done.
And then you're on to something new. So your website, where can they go for your website so that they can check this out?
So my website is lianakangas.com. And there is actually a link that goes directly to this shop, which is actually hosted on Aviva, is also a woman artist that does things in comics as well, but she also hosts my shop. So she actually ships everything out for me. Could not do it without her. And if you are supporting me and this shop, you're also supporting her, who is also an independent artist. She's actually who helped us make the really cute burger tape, which is from True Cult. And it has little burgers on it. And she also, in the store, has her own tape that have like adorable things like cats and stars. And I figured I'd show you because both shops are connected together, so you can shop from both of us. And we also have things like stickers and things like that. So
okay, so quite a bit of stuff up there. Now you also it's on your website, there is a discount code or something. Now what? Yes. Oh, there it is. It popped up magically. So check that out, bottom of the screen, guys, to get 10% off. And you've got all these things that you can get there. Now, one more quick thing that we'll talk about here before we go is you have something exciting coming up that you can't tell us much about, but it is Star Wars related.
Yes. Yeah. Star Wars Adventures, 2 split issues that Sam Maggs is writing. So dream come true.
that is going to be great. I know you get to draw Star Wars. How amazing is that?
I'm still I don't believe it.
that is going to be so much fun to see. Sorry to everybody, we can't get every comment up there, but there has been a lot of love for you, a lot of hearts, a lot of highs. So everybody is very excited about the work that you're doing.
I love all of them, and I'm glad that they came. So thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing more work from you. And please, as always, when something's happening, reach out to me. I'd love to help in any way possible and make sure that everybody here knows about it. So, thank you for coming. And we will be on to Jen Monson in just a few minutes here.
It was so good to see you, Ben.
Yes, one day we'll have some tacos and hot sauce in the shop.
Yes! I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we are back. And again, remember lianakangas.com for her shopping. Go there and check it out. Now on to one of our favorites. Oh, there it is right there again. Sorry. One of our favorites down here at Empire's Comics. Don't get a big head, Jen. I'm going to say that about every single person that comes up next. We have Jen Monson, who is on the art wall right now and has some exciting news about things coming up, things she's done. So welcome, Jen.
Well, I feel like awesome now. Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to change it. Not one of my favorites. My favorite.
Okay.
Right there. For Empire's Comics, Creative Women, for Free Comic Book Day, for our Holiday Fest. You have been a part of almost everything that we've done. Oh my God, you did paint night with us to help people learn how to paint. You've come to the live models. You were just so involved with the community here. When you come in, you sit here and half the people coming through the door. It's so much fun to have you down here. So let's stop talking about how amazing you are, and let's start talking about how amazing your art is. So let's just start with what you're working on right now. Is anything in particular that is capturing you?
Well, as always, painting koi has been my main thing that I've been doing. I've actually been working on, I got some right here behind me, these little tiny koi paintings.
Oh, nice. Like a business card size?
Yeah, they're about business card size. And I make these for Artomat, which are, they repurpose the cigarette vending machines into art vending machines. And there's actually one in Crocker Art Museum, although my art isn't there. But yeah, and those koi, and I do them big and small and tiny.
Well, Liana just said they're so cute and so tiny. And my next question is, there's still cigarette vending machines somewhere in the country?
Oh, well, they're like in storage.
Gotcha. So they're just repurposing them. That's pretty interesting. And it's kind of neat that they're actually utilizing it rather than just throwing it in a dump.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know. It is very awesome.
Yeah, and
the other thing that I've been working on with COVID and with all of my shows been canceled, I've for some reason my pet art has been doing really well. So I've been doing a lot of painting of people's pets. Say that 5 times fast.
Painting people's pets, yeah. We're going to show some of those too, because that has been very successful. But Melissa just said she's really excited to pick up the piece of art that she bought off the wall. She bought Ben. Yeah, not me. There's a bird up there called Ben. So she's excited to pick that up. But do you have an example of your pet paintings? Because that's taken off really well. People will send you pictures of their pets, and oh, she picked the ugliest one she's done, Captain Dylan Hunt.
This is the only one that I have kept for myself. Well, I do have one of Rolly, but that's somewhere else right now. But yeah, she hangs on my wall so that she's always there.
That's absolutely adorable. And it's not just cats and dogs. You've done a variety of animals. In fact, oddly enough, I see you're doing horses quite a bit.
Yes. Well, I have a friend, she rescues horses from slaughter houses and such, and she's been having me paint some of her rescue horses. And I'm hoping to even do work with her to help her raise money for her foundation.
Melissa, she says Dylan, such a pretty baby. And Melissa's one of Dylan's favorites, actually. So he's got to support her.
Ooh.
I said one of.
I am one of Dylan's favorites.
You are one of Dylan's favorites. So yeah, you've got your art on the wall, and
yes.
You're going to be here with some of it all month long, because we're dedicating it to Creative Women MiniCon. And one of the things I want to keep pushing here that's on that wall that's coming and it's not available yet is you ventured outside of your safe zone and you did a children's book just recently.
Yes, I did. I worked with Ronnie Donnie. You can find him at Ronnie Donnie on social media. And he wrote this absolutely adorable children's book about a child asking their mother, how much do you love me? And I got to do the illustrations for the book, and I had so much fun.
They look great. There's some of them up there. You can see the cover and a few of the pages just to get an idea of what's in there. And those were all done by hand, correct? And I think you watercolored them.
I did watercolor paint those. Right now, watercolor is my favorite medium. And so, yeah, and I knew that doing watercolors would help it look soft and appealing to little kids.
Then my question is on something like that from somebody who's not an artist. How, normally stuff's traditionally done with some pencils so you can change some things. How hard is it to change watercolor once you put it down?
It's pretty hard. If you make a mistake, it's not an easy thing to fix. So that's where you have to live by Bob Ross, and instead of it being a mistake, it's a happy accident.
Okay, you just roll with it and do it. Well, I didn't notice any accidents up there. It looks really good. And we're hoping to see this book sometime this year.
I hope so too.
Yes, it'll be available. It'll be available online, of course, and we will have some in the shop, of course. We're going to want to do that. But that's not all you do. You've got bags sitting over here. You've got koi ponds, which I think you're probably most known for. They're little ponds. They vary in size, and you layer them so that you can see the koi. It looks like they're actually swimming in there. So that's really neat.
I did not place any within my reach to grab to show off.
That's okay, because they can come in here and take a peek.
Yes. Yeah, you need to go into the store and take a peek. They look better in person anyhow, because then you can see all of there's some right there. You can see the multiple layers, because what I do is I pour resin and then I paint directly on the resin with acrylic paints. And then I'll pour more resin, more paint, and build up. And some of them you see are on little plates, some are in deeper bowls. And I'll do more than just koi. I'll do octopods, and I'll do mantas. Ben's got one right there.
Yep, I've got you can see it looks like I'm about to have tea, and it is attached, so I don't need to worry. You can see inside, it's hard to see how it's layered, but it is so that it looks like there is actual depth, but it looks like they're swimming around in there, which is really neat. And I brought a couple other things. We have the benefit for Jen of having her stuff on the art wall from last month. Dice bags, tons of different designs on there, and just a bag. This could be a dice bag too, if you have enough for everybody in your gaming party. And one of the things that I think is neat is that if you could live anywhere but here, you pick New Zealand simply because of hobbits.
Oh yes, definitely.
And you know that there's not actually hobbits living there, right?
What?
But one of the things you did in the art wall was you teased us. This has gotten a lot of attention, and people have been like, "Oh my God, look at that! She built a hobbit hole, and it says nothing but comfort." You can see she did the inside, and it's a tease because she's not selling it. It's just to show you what she has on her wall at home.
Well, and I made that almost completely cardboard. The only things that are not made out of cardboard is the glass in the window and the little chandelier that I made inside. But the rest is completely made out of cardboard.
And what made you decide to do something like that?
Well, I love to build things with cardboard anyhow. But then last year, the show Making It had done online a Making It at Home. And each week they challenged people to build stuff or, make something out of what you might have lying around the house. And so one of those weeks it was cardboard. And so it's like, well, I love building with cardboard. And so I wanted to super challenge myself. So I made this hobbit hole, and I made it Lego sized so that my husband and my daughter could play with their Legos in there.
That's awesome. That is pretty cool, actually. And do they have Hobbit Legos?
Yeah.
Okay.
In
okay.
fact, where I have it displayed at home, I usually have my Hobbit Legos people lounging around in it.
Do Hobbit Legos come with pipes?
No.
They should.
I know, yeah.
But no, that's all right. So what else? So what else do you have coming for us, Jen? You've begun to do some cons too.
Yes.
You're getting out of the house again. There's ways for people to get a hold of you there. Do you have anything coming up that people should look for yet?
Later this month, I think it's the 22nd. I'm doing the spring show at Preston Castle, which is in Ione. And it is an outdoor show, and it's also a 2-day show. So it's a Saturday, Sunday. And I've got lined up the Mermaid Convention. I think that's in July.
Wow.
I've got Fan X in Salt Lake City. Just I've got a lot of stuff actually that I've been able to. And if you go to my Facebook page, the at Genuine Art on Facebook, I have it listed there with my events, as well as if you go to genuineart.com and go to my event page there, I have listed my upcoming events.
That's perfect. And if we can put the website up for people to take a peek, because you also have stuff that they can purchase on your website, and they can contact you directly to
Yes.
get stuff. You do commissions, which is great. You've got the animal paintings for people who want to get that done.
And I wanted to show off another thing
Yeah, go
that
for it.
I have on there. So something that I've been making for years and years now are these little flowers. And they actually have...
I don't know that I've seen you bring those in.
Yeah, I know. I don't have any of the little lamps with me, but you can I have these little battery operated tea lights that go inside of them. And they're made from paper, and I cut each of the petals. I have a special one here that I watercolored. Oops, there's my camera, to make it look like a galaxy. But I do these in a bunch of different colors, and on my web page, I have where you can order what color you want and how many, and I make those to order.
And this is the perfect time, everybody, to go over and purchase some of those, because we are getting into really nice weather. You're going to want to sit out on the patio. Those would look great as little things to set aside and provide some light while you're hanging out during the summer. So yes, please head over to genuineart.com and get some of those guys right now, as well as, commissions. Oh, speaking of that, Jen, there was somebody who, I don't know if she's reached out to you yet, but she has purchased many of your things here in the shop, picked up another one of the pieces here this week. She wanted to know if you do work on wood.
On wood?
Wood.
On wood, WOOD?
Yep, like on a fence.
Oh, yeah. I would paint on pretty much anything, and I'm up for any challenge. I've never painted on a fence before, but I would totally love to do that. I recently had somebody contact me about painting on her garage door, so I've been researching paints and stuff to do with that. So
it's funny that you got excited about it, because that's exactly what I told her. I said, I don't know that Jen's ever done anything like that, but she gets really excited when it's something she hasn't done.
I know, exactly. Give me something new to learn. Like when you gave me the chance to paint the mural in your bathroom. It's like, that is the Empire's bathroom.
Yes. And when you're here, go to the bathroom, because it's the most beautiful bathroom you will find in Sacramento.
So yeah, I love new challenges that people can give me.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, guys, ladies, go check out her website, follow her on Instagram, go to the Facebook page, look at the event she's coming at. We will be right back with somebody who has not done Creative Women Minicon before, but who has been a part of the Empires community for a long, long time. So thank you very much, Jen. And the next one's one of your favorites too.
Yes, Carla's coming up next.
Oh, you ruined it. All right, we'll be right back with November Cosplay. All right, we are back with a newcomer to Creative Women MiniCon, which is kind of surprising to me because she has been a part of many other events and things that we've done down here at Empires Comics. Welcome, November Cosplay to Creative Women MiniCon. Oh, and you're in costume. That's awesome. Look at that, and that is a great costume. When did you start on that one?
So I actually just bought this one, and I just got it yesterday, so I had to throw it on.
That is great. I was about to say, I don't think I've seen that one at all. That is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, you love the show.
Yes.
Yes, you're like, that's it. Yes, you absolutely love it.
I love Wanda, and I've been waiting for a Scarlet Witch costume that I actually liked and felt comfortable wearing, and this was it.
That is perfect. So everyone who doesn't know November here, cosplayer, obviously, but more than that, she also creates her own costumes. She works with charity, does the Shriners Hospital, has been part of our live model night as a model. Just so many things. It's been great working with you over the years. And I'm glad to finally get you on here because creating cosplay is definitely a creative endeavor, especially with the way that you've done it. In fact, you've even hosted a couple of things here at the shop to help newcomers get into the hobby. Now, how did you get into the hobby and what made this so exciting for you?
So I started, I guess back in 2007. It was my birthday and my sister brought me along to a SAC anime. And I saw these people in costume and I thought it was such a cool idea that people were dressing up and it wasn't Halloween. So I had my first costume made. My grandma made one for me. And that summer I did my very first cosplay. And ever since then, it's just always been a really fun thing to do with friends.
Okay. So when you went there, did you know immediately that you were going to start creating cosplay, or did you just purchase a costume and then thought, oh, this will be fun?
Yeah, no, we, in the beginning, I was a poor high school, college kid. I couldn't buy stuff. So I would go and get the cheapest cotton fabric, or I would go to the thrift shop and piece stuff together. The first one I ever put together really was Tara from Teen Titans, from the animated show. And that was literally yellow basketball shorts and a black what do you call that? A turtleneck. And I just got some felt and made a little T in a circle and got some chucks and covered them with brown fabric. It was so everyone's got to start somewhere. But it was so fun.
And it was recognizable.
It was.
That's all that mattered. And
yes.
I mean, from there you go and you start meeting people. The cosplay community is a monster. There are so many of you. And the neat thing about it is, no matter if you're starting with that Tara costume or if you're the absolute professional, I have never seen anybody be anything but supportive of everyone.
Yeah, I like that everyone kind of does it for their own reason. Everyone creates in their own way. Some people, they don't create, and that's totally fine. I'm in between. If I can find something and buy it and it's cheaper than me making it myself and it's close to what I want anyways, I'll support that person and buy it from them. Otherwise, if there's something really specific and I really want to make that, then I'll do that. And there's lots of people who are the same way. And no matter what, whatever you're doing, as long as you're having fun, that's the point.
It is. And you guys, you really do have fun. The cons would not be the same without everyone there dressing up, having a great time. Despite the annoyance of you guys stopping the con in the middle of the hall, it's still fun to see everybody there dressed up and having a great time with you guys. So what costumes have you done and which ones are you most proud of?
Okay, so the ones that I've made, one of the ones I'm most proud of that we made was my friends and I, we did the 3 fairies from Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. And that was, that's one of those projects where we all live in different places. One of us lives in Tracy, one lives in Sacramento, one lives in Vacaville. So we'd get together every other week or every month or something, and we'd work on it together. And so it took us about 2 years to get them done because we always only ever worked on them together. And fortunately for the Disney Convention D23 Expo, it's only every 2 years. So we had that 2 years to get them done. So I'm really proud of that one. I made a Rapunzel. That was a beautiful dress. I was very proud of myself for that one. And I did it with my mom, who was Mother Gothel. Those are some really fun. Honestly, like group ones or ones that I get to wear with other people are some of my favorites. Oh, there's one that I absolutely love. I did not make, though we did make the face shells and the lenses. My husband and I did Miles and Gwen from Marvel.
That's awesome. Yes, that is really cool. It's nice that you get to work with your husband. You've even got your mom involved.
I did. We did Cinderella and the fairy godmother. I made her fairy godmother outfit, and then we did Rapunzel Gothel together. And then we did like a little kind of casual, like Incredibles when my nephew was born, and he was Jack Jack.
That's fantastic. She went to the cons with you, correct?
Yeah, she loved going to them, and so I just got her like over the last couple of years to finally dress up.
That's great. And of course, you guys want to follow her on Instagram, that's probably your main hub, correct?
Yeah, I started a TikTok. I don't really know what I'm doing there, but it's under the same name, November Cosplay.
Okay.
I don't really know how to TikTok, but I just put things in sometimes. I'm mostly there for the cat videos.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So obviously no cons going on. You're not able to utilize the costumes as much as you would. Is there anything that you have been working on during this time? To get
it's really hard to get motivated to work on stuff. Honestly, like buying stuff and modifying it. Like I got this one, I got to do some modifications on it. That's kind of like me trying to get back into it. My friend and I, we've been going out together. We're both vaccinated now, which is fantastic. And we've been going out and just taking pictures of each other. And so we do our own little like photo shoot on my camera phone.
That's
not the best thing ever.
Cool.
But it's something fun to do, to get up and go out and cosplay. And there are some photographers who've reached out now that everyone's, getting vaccinated, and we all want to shoot together again. And then when it's safe, I'm sure we'll all get together and get back to cons.
Have you started doing the professional shooting again?
Not yet. In 2 weeks, I will begin again.
Okay, that's perfect.
I'm really excited. Yes. And it's something that I've been working on slowly. I'll eventually finish my Sailor Venus costume. I've been working on that one since we started, like before we started doing those things in your shop with the sewing and
yes,
teaching people. Yeah, that one's just kind of, it's been on the back burner for like 3 years. I'm working on like a punk Korra from Tron Legacy. I'm working on Queen Anna.
Good God.
Yeah, another one that I have kind of sitting to the side is Blue Fairy. I'm going to make my nephew a Pinocchio costume, but I'm waiting for a convention because I'm not making it for him now because he's 3 and he's just growing.
He's going to, there's no point.
So I have to wait on his costume.
Okay, so you've got your hands busy, or your hands full, and you're just staying busy. And of course, you guys are going to want to follow her on Instagram because you can see previous pictures. She's going to post more. And one of the things that we appreciate is November has generously allowed us during the quarantine, because we don't do events in the shop. Obviously, we're doing it here. We've continued live model and things like that. And you have allowed us to use pictures of you. And what we do is we post them online so that artists can get together in a group, post the pictures they draw. We do it just like live model. I'll say, hey, this one's 15 minutes. We post a picture in November. They draw, they post, they talk. So thank you very much for allowing us to continue to use those so that we can keep some of the community connected, since they haven't seen each other in over a year.
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. And I like whenever we do the online ones, the proceeds always go to a charity. And so I'm all about cosplaying for a cause.
Yeah, you are. And you have worked with us during Free Comic Book Day to raise money for the Shriners Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm. And it's really great, guys. When we do our Free Comic Book Day, we take over the parking lot, but November helps immensely. She takes care of the entire charity part of the event, where we raffle off a lot of stuff, and then all the proceeds go to Shriners. And then right afterwards, you take a bunch of comics and you go to the Shriners Hospital in costume to talk with the children. What is that like?
Oh, it's so much fun. So we get there and they always have the kids like all gathered and everything in the families. And sometimes we'll do it inside, or if the weather's nice, we'll go outside, and they've got this big playground at Shriners. So much fun. But if we do it inside, they have different stations for us and we get to play games with them. We get to come by and give the kids comics.
That's awesome.
Gosh, it's just such a fun day. Like the last time we did it outdoors when the weather was nice. And it was just so fun to see like Deadpool running around with the little kids on the playground. And I had this one little friend, she just kept wanting me to go down the slide over and over and over with her. And it's just such a fun day to bring smiles to the kids and bring free comic book day to them.
That is great. That is a really nice thing, and hopefully soon we'll get back to that, so you can go and bring those to the children. So yeah, guys, please follow her. Take a peek at the Instagram. Give her some love. Give some encouragement. Tell her some costumes that you might like to have her do. I'm sure you're always open to suggestions.
I am.
And then yes, thank you for joining us this morning. November Cosplay, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm looking forward to getting you back in the shop for some of these events, but thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, we have somebody back who I haven't seen in a little while during all of this craziness, and I'm excited to talk to and find out what she has been doing. We are now on to Rachel Strum. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Hey, Ben.
How have you been?
It's been ages. I'm a hermit.
Let's start with that then, because that's funny, because one of the things that you've said is people will meet you at the cons here or outside of here, and you'll be going and talking and bubbly, and then they will have a surprising side of you, because then you will just put yourself in your house for weeks on end and don't need to see anybody.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So a year inside has not been so great, because now I'm like, oh, people.
Yes. You're like, oh my God, I don't know how to deal with this anymore. Well, have you been productive over this year?
I am very productive, always.
Good. So what did you utilize the time to create and do?
So I'm doing still wands, but I've got these new stones that we're doing for them. So can you see this is it's a rose. It's an amethyst rose.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And then I've got other like crescent moons. This is out of obsidian.
So now, what are the wands made of?
The wands are real wood always, and then I use polymer to attach the stones, and then lots of paint.
Okay, so then let's walk us through the process. Where do you find the wood? What do you use, and what do you determine is a good piece to start doing that?
Well, so actually, most of my wood is reclaimed or salvaged, like this piece. This is a piece of redwood, and it's natural varnish. And what I do is, honestly, I find it like during fall season when they start cutting all the trees, they'll leave piles of wood places. Okay, and
That's
for
great.
me, I look at that and I'm like, whoa, wandwood. And so I will just, put it in my car. And usually I know what kind of wood it is. And so I'll take it home and season it and dry it out and then put it on the lathe. So
interesting. So once you do all of that, how much actual like carving do you need to do on the wood by the end? I guess it depends on the piece of wood, huh?
Depends on the piece. I mean, I have a big table saw, so we can cut it down into smaller blanks. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun.
There you go. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, but the end product is the most important part, and people really tend to like that. So good. You've been making a lot of this throughout the pandemic, and now are you starting to go back to cons for people to see you?
So I did just get fully vaccinated, but
Excellent.
my soonest con I think is in August. So it'll be Stockton Con.
Okay, perfect. So you've got some time to create some more wands along the way. Well, then let's get to the wands, because you do other things as well that we're going to talk about, and you guys will see her website popping up occasionally. Make sure you open a new tab and pop that in there so that you can check out what she's doing. What started the wand? I know you're a big reader and you love fantasy, you love Harry Potter. What made you decide that you wanted to create your own wands?
Well, so I do love Harry Potter, but actually I think I'm even more of a Tolkien fan. So growing up reading The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, I always wanted what I would imagine Gandalf should have a staff and then wands in that world would look like. So this is more that kind of style. These are all originals. I don't do replicas. If you want a replica, you can get that from Universal. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but these are all one of a kind.
Each one is individual. Each one is your own wand. So that's why when you see her wands online, or when you see her in August, you're going to want to check out all of them to make sure that you get the right one, and just to make sure that you find the thing that you need. So tell us about the rest of the things you do, the soap and the other things.
Right. Okay. So those are fun. Which these are my D20 soaps. Okay, but it's a game. So this is a critical role soap. So you wash with it, and you have a 1 in 20 chance of, I don't know, can you guys hear this? Where's my mic? Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So inside there is a capsule with a 1 in 20 chance of getting a gemstone D20. So a gemstone D20 is like, this is an opalite. So that's carved out of gemstone. And your other 19 chances are still cool. They're different kinds of metal D20s. So, you get clean and you get a prize.
It gives you incentive to make sure that you. I really do like the way you've done it, though, because it's a 20-sided die. You get a 1 in 20 chance of rolling that 20, which is of course a critical, and then you get the special one. That's really neat. Are you a gamer?
I am not, but I love dice.
Sweet.
Okay. Like really love dice. And then, D20s are the coolest. So when I found out they were made out of gemstones, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a problem.
It's sweet. No, because you get to buy them all, you get to handle them, you get to play with them, and then you get to sell them. So it's like a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. I can look at them all and admire them all.
Now, one of the things that I thought was really neat about your stuff too is that the dice are fantastic. But do you have any of the like Pokeballs to show?
I don't. They sold out.
Well, make some more before August. because she's got the Pokeball soaps. And tell them the story behind it and what they get, because it's really neat.
So all of those kinds of soaps come with a toy on the inside. So the Pokeball soaps are Pokemon figurine on the inside of an orb, and the orb is colored to, be the same color as like the character. So Pikachu's in yellow electric, and it smells like electric lemonade. And then it goes inside a Pokeball that opens and closes. So when you're done with your soap, you can actually play with it. But I started them because of my daughter, because she hated taking baths. She was 5. I couldn't get her clean. It was gross. So I finally just stuck a toy in a soap, because I already made soaps. I was like, here, wash, and you get a prize. So it worked really well.
And it worked really well. And there's a prize at the end of each one of those. And then from there, we get the D20 dice and the other stuff that you're doing, because it worked so well. You're like, wait a minute, if it works with children, what will make what will make them do it? And the dice are absolutely perfect, especially when you're going to cons or just other events, because you're going to find the people who are really into that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you been making soap your whole life? Is this something that you and your family did, or is this?
No, I just I don't even remember how I picked it up, but I'm always trying new things. So one day I think I was like, this looks fun. I can probably turn this into art. So, and that was it. And plus, you get to use micas, and like anything where you get to use paint or color, I'm pretty much addicted to it. So.
Okay, so we've got the wands and we've got the soap. Is there anything else that you're currently working on that people should be aware of?
These are fairly new. I think I brought them to Empires once. These are nail polish. So they're handmade and they are magic themed. So I call this the Spellbound line. Each one's named after a different like magic ingredient. So you've got like unicorn blood, since this is the Slytherin set. Unicorn blood, then basilisk venom. And these I make in Hogwarts sets, but I also make them in just like really cool colors. They're always up on the Etsy. So
okay, so what else you got?
I was gonna say the spell vials too. So
now, what are those?
It's herbs and crystals that are put in here to coordinate with what the different properties are, and also it's got the seals on the top. So these are just mostly decor, but it's like a nice gift. I've got some that are like for good health, or for I don't know, one for love luck, things like that. I like crystals, color, so it all works together.
Okay, and that explains why you like the dice so much, and you went full blown on that kind of stuff. Now, where should they go to look for your stuff online? Because today's the day to do it. I mean, we've got Mother's Day coming. These are great gifts. You know what? Don't do that alone. Stock up for Christmas if you have to, the holiday seasons. So we've got it at the bottom. Is Etsy your best place to go?
Etsy is for most things, but honestly, I'm really not tech savvy. So if you've seen anything of mine or you've been to a con before and seen my shop, I have a lot more than you see on the Etsy. So message me on Instagram. That is always the easiest way, honestly, to get a hold of me if you want something you don't see on the Etsy. So
okay, and it's the same name. So you guys, there it is on the bottom of the screen. You can follow that to talk with her. Now, do you take commissions and do custom jobs?
I most certainly do. I love doing custom ones. So with my custom ones, we have got an order form. You get to pick your wood, and you pick your crystal, and you actually get to like pick your crystal up, and that's yours. So you can feel it. And then we talk about what you want it to look like. Those tend to be really cool. Right now I'm working on a Phoenix Fire one, and I'm working on a fairy one actually for Jen's husband as well.
Oh, sweet. What's the fairy one going to be?
I think he's going to use it in his new YouTube videos. It's fairy hunting.
Yep.
So it's supposed to attract fairies, he said, and he wanted it to look like something that came from a fairy as well. So that one's really exciting. I was just turning that this weekend. So.
That's great. So please go visit her website, check out the Etsy. But again, it's not everything that she has. So you're going to want to talk to her on Instagram. So you know what? Scroll through the Instagram, because you might see things that are still available, or see things that will spark something in you that you can then talk to her and get something custom made. Now, check her out at Stockton Con in August. And what's that?
Yeah, in August.
In August for Stockton Con. And of course, back here next year when we can get back to normal, hopefully, and get things in the shop. Thank you very much for joining us, Rachel. I look forward to seeing your stuff again in person, because I'll be at Stockton Con as well. So I'll come by and say hi. And everyone, go follow her, go pick up a wand, and then we'll be right back with another creative woman.
Thanks, Ben. Bye.
Okay, we are here with Kristine Balog. You will know Kristine from many things down here at Empires, from the Free Comic Book Day to, of course, Creative Women, to her card game. We had the demos here, her successful Kickstarter on that. So welcome, Kristine Balog. There's always a lot to talk to you about, what you have. And look at it. I mean, look at that. My God, just a full setup. Thank you for joining us earlier today on Good Day Sacramento. That was fun. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am doing great. I had my coffee. I got out to read the paper with Jen. It was a good morning, and now I'm here. So this day is all coming together.
Finally,
yes,
gosh.
I know. So let's backtrack a little bit up there. We've got a lot to talk about on your table, but I want to talk about some things you don't talk about a lot anymore.
Oh no.
Let's go back to the beginning of when we met and when we started together on these things. You are a crafter, but you are also a writer and an artist, and we don't see a lot of that from you anymore. So I'm throwing this out here now because I want to see more. So let's talk about the first thing that I saw that you did creatively.
It was my comic book. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago.
We've still got a few copies left up here, so if anybody wants to check them out, they're on the local wall. Not many left, and I don't think you have any left.
I don't know, because I'm waiting to. I was going to publish 10 issues and then turn it into a graphic novel, so I didn't get any more printed. So I think what you have actually is all
That's the, okay, this is it right here, everybody, is the final copies of this. So just quickly, because it's not your focus at the moment, but I know you're going to finish this. Tell us a little bit about what made you decide to not only do the comics, but write a novel.
Oh my gosh. So I fell in love with this painter called Caravaggio. I'm sure everybody here has heard that name a million times and has heard me talk about him a million times. I can't get away from him. I'm actually writing my nonfiction book about him right now, fun fact. So I don't know, I majored in art history and I realized art history is super boring for a lot of people. And Caravaggio's life is so exciting. I mean, he was on the run. He had a bando capitale, which means bring me him and his head, dead or alive. And he was like fleeing everywhere and like constant drama, like total movie. And I was like, I need to present his story in a way that people are actually going to want to read it instead of an art history book. And I was like, well, let's turn him into a novel because like the story wrote itself pretty much. So there's comic books, there's a coloring book, there's 2 novels. I'm still working on the third. Actually have a green light from the publisher for next year for the 3rd one to come out. So I'm super excited about that.
That's great.
And nonfiction, yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun because you actually did in here when you released the book, you did a presentation about him and about the book and about his life, and it was a really fun, and we had a good crowd learning about it. In fact, some people came down who knew nothing. Other people were fans, and they wanted to see, you know, your take on this, and that was just a lot of fun. Before we get into what you're doing currently, can they find those novels anywhere online, or is that gone too?
Yeah, no. Those are on Amazon. I also, if you want a signed copy, you can actually buy it on my Etsy and just write me a little note and let me know. I think I have maybe 15 author copies left. So if you want to sign one, go to Etsy. Otherwise, you can get them on Amazon.
And what is your Etsy?
It's Renaissance Soap Shop.
Okay.
Very confusing.
No. And it's right behind you too.
There you go. Yeah.
We've got it right at the bottom so that you guys can type it while we're talking. So that was the beginning. You also paint.
I do. Yeah.
Have you done much painting lately?
I have. Yeah, it's really interesting. So the pandemic, a lot of my creative friends like went into a hole and couldn't create. And I got more creative. I actually, for the first time in my life, did a painting where I just took a canvas and painted on the canvas. I used to go in with a pencil, make sure everything was perfect, and then paint over it. And I do oil painting for people who don't know. So for me to actually just paint on a canvas with just a brush and no pencil, like it was so freeing and so exciting. So I actually pulled out my charcoal again the other day too, which I haven't done charcoal and pastel in probably 15 years. So
Okay.
I'm definitely moving back into my traditional art. I miss it a lot. So.
Well, then this is exciting because when you've created enough new pieces, and since there's nowhere to go to display them, when you have enough, we're going to have to get you back on the wall.
Yes.
So we can see all the new stuff that you've been creating, along with the stuff that you are sitting in front of. Now, can we see Kristine large so we can see what all of this is?
Yeah,
That
zoom
is
in.
quite
Like
a
this.
setup. We're going to need to really look at this. Now, you're going to have to show us. Tell us a little bit about why you started this, what got you going, and then what kept you going, because it took off pretty quickly once you came to a con with soap. I was like, you came to the first con without all your other stuff in the soap, and I was like, well, this is interesting. And then, boom, it was just flying.
Yeah, I sold out of everything that day. Like I didn't even know what was going. My head was spinning. I wanted to make candles. That's how this whole thing started. And I started making candles and I was burning myself. Like I didn't have the right tools. I was just, it's like I can do this, no problem. It was just horrible. I hated it. So I Googled something about candle making and I found this thing that said cold process soap. And I was like, what the hell is cold process soap? Like I don't even know what this is. And I fell down the rabbit hole for like 3 days. Like I didn't sleep. I was doing all this research and I became obsessed. I'm like, I didn't know that you could actually make soap with olive oil and like stuff that I cook with. And I'm like, all right, this is really cool. So then I realized when you pour soap, so these bars, I'm gonna try not to knock stuff over, but like these bars, when you pour this into a mold, if you take it out of the mold early, it's soft like clay. So I can sculpt it.
Okay.
So when I realized that, that's when these things started happening. So these are roses and flowers, and I use these for display. I showed these last year, but these are sculpted. So I'll take a ball of soap and I will just sit down with my little X-Acto knife and chopsticks, believe it or not, and sculpt soap. So then I fell down another rabbit hole, and I learned about this thing called whipped soap, which I had never heard of in my life. And it's top shelf. These are my babies. It's my favorite thing to do. It's thick like whipped cream, like lotion, but it's soap and it lathers better than body wash. And oh my God, whipped soap is the most incredible thing. Like, it's all I use now. I didn't even know what it was. And it took me a year to formulate my own recipe. So this recipe is mine and mine alone. You'll never be able to get this recipe. I'm taking it to the grave with me.
For those of us who don't know, what's the difference between the traditional and the whipped?
Oh my God, whipped soap is it's like elegant. It's, you know what, if you want to zoom in, check this out. I'll make a mess of one of them. Here, zoom in on this one if you want. And I will stick my finger in this. So it's like you can pick it up like lotion.
Oh, okay.
Right? And obviously you want to put water with it. But look, this is soap. So your hands look like that. And then when you put them under water, it is this unbelievable bubbly lather. But this is so soft. Like, it will leave your hands softer than lotion will.
Okay.
And I mean, I've had people tell me that their skin looks younger and it feels younger. I don't make any claims like that, but this is what people tell me. So super fun. And now I have soap all over my hands. Nice.
And Julie says that it looks so yummy. I do not recommend eating it, Julie, even though some of these look like you could.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of detail in these things, and we're not doing it justice here. You're going to have to go to our website. You're going to have to take a peek, a look at the Instagram, because when you see them in person, the amount of work that you have put into shaping these ones, the whipped, or carving the actual soap is ridiculous. Like, you're not just going to get the bar soap. Sometimes there's like a dragon sitting on top of this thing that she has carved out.
This one I'm pointing at right now, that's actually soap. That is a dragon soap.
Okay.
It's gigantic. It's huge. But it's so cool.
It is, yes. And this, okay, the smells. We've had the soap in here for the art gallery when she had stuff up and we laid out the soaps. The smells are fantastic. And you have such a wide variety too. In fact, they smell so good that we'd leave them over there and the whole shop would have a nice little
that's so awesome. My house smells so good right now. Like, let me tell you. Oh, so
no,
nice.
I can imagine. And you guys, if you talk to her, if you don't find something, I know that you can take requests. And I know that you do. Mother's Day is right around the corner. I know that you do baskets because I got one for my wife, Jen, and it was great because it's not just filled with soaps. You do other things like bath salts and tell us all of those.
I do, yeah. So these are some of my my bath potions, I call them, because I'm a dork. So I have buttermilk bath soaks, and I have specific for like aching muscles and if you just need to relax or if you need energy. So a lot of it is aromatherapy. I do bath bombs. My favorite thing now is these over here, which are bath truffles, and they look like ice cream. They're scoops. I actually make them with an ice cream scoop. I'm obsessed with these things. So you just drop that in your bath and it bubbles and it conditions your skin. There's 3 different oils in there. So it's like this vacation when you're taking a bath. I also do make candles. I picked that up again. So I do make candles. And then I also sculpt. I started sculpting, what was it, last year, I think? Maybe the year before, I'm not sure. But I make these tiny little ramen bowls down here. They're like so cute. And I make little pie, and I have this whole universe. I call this whole thing that we're looking at is called the Bubbleverse, and I'm a bubble witch. So I make these little sculptures that are called Sophies. So this little guy is actually holding his own bubble. His name is Chomp, and he goes around and he eats everybody's bubbles, so people get really upset with him. So it's like I make all of this lore just for all of this soap. And you can buy a soap that actually comes with a sculpture. For Mother's Day, I actually have a build your own basket. So you can go on and you can choose between like a whipped soap and a bath bomb or something and kind of create your own basket. Tell me what you want and I'll put it together, personalize it for your mom, send it out, and everything will be done.
Okay, now all of this can, of course, be found on renaissancesoaps.com, even the little sculptures?
Yeah, yep, everything's on there.
Okay, that's perfect. And if they are looking for the novels, where should they go for that? And what's the official title?
So the first one is Caravaggio of Oil and Blood, and the second one is Caravaggio of Iron and Steel. And you can get them on Amazon or on my Etsy as well.
That's perfect. Now, we're about to pop up a discount code that people can use on your site. There it is, a CWMC15 to get 15% off at Renaissance Soap. And of course, with Mother's Day right around the corner, this is the perfect thing to use. So go visit her, find out what she's got, follow her on all the social media, and of course, check out the novels. When do you think that third novel will be out?
So I'm editing it now. So hopefully by Free Comic Book Day, I would love to release that for Free Comic Book Day this year, and have like a comic bundle with it. That would be lovely.
That would be, yes.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, and if you guys do not wish to wait for the comic books, it looks like we have just a few of the remaining issues right up on the shelf. So check that out in here. Go over to the Etsy, get yourself a basket, find out what she does. And of course, I am looking forward to you finishing off some of those paintings so we can schedule you for an art wall later this year.
Yeah, seriously, that has to happen.
It does have to happen. It's been a while. So thank you very much, Kristine. I will see you in the shop. And
yes,
of course, keep creating. It doesn't sound like you have a problem with that. But we'll see you very soon, hopefully, in the shop with a table, getting stuff into people's hands.
Yes, that would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. We'll be right back with Heroic Girls. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a second. Okay, this is going to be an exciting one. A lot of you probably already know all about this, but if you don't, this is something that is going to be really fun for you to learn. There's something that's been growing here in Sacramento, something that has really kind of come into its own, and we're excited to let you know about it and excited to support them. Welcome, John Marcotte from Heroic Girls Foundation. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Hey, Ben, how are you doing?
I am doing good. It's great to see you. It's great to hear your voice, sir. I don't hear it enough.
Yeah, you can't have a women's event without two white guys sitting there and talking about women's issues. So I'm so happy to continue that strong Comic Con tradition of having a bunch of dudes discussing women's stuff. But
yeah, and that is something that is a valid point. That has been something that has been changing, obviously,
yes,
but it is something that was the staple up until very recently.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
No, I actually I got flown to Florida for a panel at a con, And I did explain to the people that said, I'm not famous, right? This is not going, I'm not a draw, but they flew me down there. And they were doing a panel on women in comics. And it was supposed to be a talk first, and it morphed into a panel. And I got there, and the panel was going to be me, Chuck Dixon, which is a whole separate problem. We're not going to go down the Chuck Dixon rabbit hole. And then 2 other guys, and there were no women on the panel whatsoever. They had some women from a local college that were supposed to be there, and they didn't show for some reason. And they were going to proceed, and I said, I won't do it. So I actually went and walked the floor, and I found cosplayers and independent creators and pulled them onto the panel, because I'm like, it's absolutely ridiculous to have this conversation without women present. This is a issue that directly impacts women, and they have to be here. So it has gotten better since that. That was one of my first cons ever, and it's gotten a lot better since then.
Well, why don't we tell them what the Heroic Girls Foundation is?
Sure.
To begin with.
I am a nerd. I like superheroes and comic books and all that kind of thing. I have 2 daughters, and they picked up my love of superhero stuff. And I started thinking that superheroes were a better role model for girls than princesses, which is what they're often given. That was my original idea. So I started writing about that, and I got picked up by Women You Should Know. It's a feminist blog in New York City, and I was the first male contributor to Women You Should Know. And then I was a Huffington Post blogger for a brief moment. I did a TED talk on why superheroes are good for girls and women. And hi, Jen. And I eventually got a He for She Champion for Change award from the UN Women's Group for my work in gender equality, for doing presentations at Comic-Con and things like that. So just this past summer, I finally incorporated. We have a board that's made up of all women, and we are formed the Heroic Girls Foundation. The idea is that we are trying to improve representation of women and girls in pop culture, because we think that improving pop culture is how we eventually achieve equality in the real world. Is that it's very important to represent women well in things like comic books and TV shows and movies, because that's how people learn about the world. And we're setting expectations for kids about what the world is like, and right now we're not doing a very good job.
Okay, and one of the things I found interesting is one of the things that sparked a lot of this for you, as I've talked to you over the years, finding things like your girls were into all of these things.
Yes,
but there was not a representation in the market for what they wanted to see.
One of the first things that we went viral for was when I'm trying to remember, it was the Avengers came out, and it was the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we wanted a Gamora action figure. My kids loved the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. We went and saw the movie, and they were all over Gamora. That was a great role model for them. They loved it. So we went to Target, and there were no Gamora action figures. They had released the first line, and they didn't make a Gamora. And they had one that was in the $25 line, the Legends, the Marvel Legends, but even those, they didn't make enough of them. They were sold out. And the kids' lines, the stuff that's like $10, no, nothing there. And then we said, well, what about Black Widow? Because the Avengers was out. There were no Black Widows. Okay, what about Wonder Woman? Because the Justice League cartoon was going strong at that point. No Wonder Woman, except for the only female action figure we found in the entire toy aisle in Target was a Wonder Woman that was part of an entire Justice League set of 7 characters. So in order to get one Wonder Woman figure, the only one they had, you had to pay $50 and buy 6 male characters that you may not care about. So that was, something that we pointed out and went a little bit viral. And I'd love to report, and I can report, that things have gotten so much better since then. Since those early days, just in the past few years, they came out with the DC Superhero Girls line of dolls, which have been a huge hit. It's funny, no one wanted those dolls. Target had an exclusive deal, not because they fought hard for it, but no one else wanted them. And then within a year, DC Superhero Girls was literally a $1 billion franchise. It was worth $1 billion, and everybody's all over it. Marvel did the Marvel Rising set of dolls and action figures. Star Wars came out with the Forces of Destiny line, which has characters like Rey and Leia and all their female characters. So after, I think it's kind of proven that girls do want this stuff. It's just they weren't making it for them. And now that we're actually actively, trying to market to girls this type of material, they're going for it.
That's great. So then let me ask you this. What is in the simplest way, what is the agenda of Heroic Girls Foundation. What are you trying to accomplish in this?
Basically, the idea is that kids' books, let's just take kids' books for an example. Kids' books, 2/3 of all board books that are read to little kids feature a male protagonist, 1/3 female. 2/3 of the Newbery Award-winning books are male protagonists with 1/3 female. Over and over again in different media, we see men represented twice as often as women. And so what message does that send to kids? Over and over again, they're basically told boys and men are more important than girls and women. And it's a subtle thing. It's not like we explicitly say it. We'll tell them that we are equal. But the reality is when we show them the world through things like books and television shows and movies, we're over and over again showing them everything from the male point of view, and women are supporting characters or background characters. So our thought is that if we improve that situation, if we tell more stories by female creators, more stories with women and girls as the central character, the characters that are created, if they are stronger, not necessarily in a superheroic way, but if they're written well and interesting and have clear, good motivations, that this will teach little girls that they are important. And very importantly, this is not just for girls. There's little boys, too, that need to see that girls are equal to them, so that they don't grow up thinking in this kind of misogynistic mindset that just comes about because they get catered to at every single turn. They're always, put forward. They're always put first before the girls. And so we're trying to balance the scales a little bit. Give girls every bit of the opportunity that boys do to see themselves as the hero of the story. And then we believe that that's going to lead to positive outcomes later down the road where boys and girls will be more equal. You dream it first. So this is the dream. We're going to show them a world where men and women are equal. And then we're hoping that this next generation can achieve that dream in a way that, we're getting slowly there. But, I think there was a statistic going around saying that at the rate we're moving right now, we won't hit gender equality in salaries for another 200 years. I'm like, yeah, well, I'd like to speed that timeline up a little bit. So that's where I'm at.
That is fair enough. Now, a couple things, but one of the things that I don't know if it's just Empire's Comics or if it's across the board because I haven't done any research, but one of the things that's interesting to me is that we're talking about how it's underrepresented. But in my young adult section and the children's section here at Empire's Comics, about 75% of the readers are young girls, not young boys. The young boys want to come in and look at the action figures or go home and play video games.
Right.
But the girls are actually reading it, but it's not there in the same.
That is 100% accurate. They've done study after study that girls read for pleasure at a much higher rate than boys, and there may be biological reasons for that, but I suspect a lot of it's socialization issues.
Mm-hmm.
Just things that we tell boys are important rather than girls. And even though girls read more than boys, with the stories that we put out more stories where boys are the primary focus. So it's just a weird situation we've considered ourselves. I have a couple of examples of how how this whole thing works, about how media can influence people in a positive direction. The show The X-Files came out, and they actually had a phenomenon that they called the Scully effect. Scully was the redheaded female FBI agent in the TV show The X-Files, and after the show had been out for a few years, it started anecdotally, college professors were saying there are a lot of women interested in STEM fields, in science. There are women that are interested in law enforcement. We haven't seen that before, and a lot of them are saying that it's because they watched The X-Files, and they're seeing this positive representation of a woman who is smart, who is involved in STEM, and who is a law enforcement in the FBI. And that's a character that we haven't seen a lot of before, and it was inspiring women. So it was just kind of a thought, and it seemed like it was true, but it wasn't any proof. But the Gina Davis Institute for Women in Media actually studied it. And again, 60-something% of women that are in STEM fields in 2018 said Dana Scully was a huge role model for them when they were kids. They loved Dana Scully. And so media actually does have this positive push in people's lives. They can inspire people to do things that they didn't think was possible. Because they saw a fictional character do it on the screen, that made them realize that they could really do it in real life. And I think that's just a wonderful story that to know, that the Scully effect is real.
Yes. Now, people who want to get involved, people who want to help with the cause, how can they do that with you, John?
I'm sure we got a grant last year, and we actually ran a graphic novel reading program for kids during the time of COVID, all through Zoom. We recruited teachers and librarians to run the classes. We gave them the books for free using grant money because we targeted disadvantaged communities, and it was subtle. It was we didn't put right out there, oh, this is about female empowerment and everything, but half of the stories that we offered had a female protagonist, half had a male protagonist. And we made sure that we included people of color, LGBTQ plus representation. We looked at diversity in every aspect we could think of and made sure that we had done that. So our grant money ran out. So number one, if anybody has $25,000 just sitting around they're not using, dig in the couch cushions. But barring that, right now we're writing grant proposals. We're trying to find another source of funds to continue the program. It was a huge hit. Our feedback was nearly unanimous. I mean, honestly, 100% positive feedback. We didn't get anybody that didn't like the program, both teachers, administrators, librarians, and students, and parents. So we want to do that again. We did it once, and it was our first time. We think we could do it even better next time. So one way you can do it is you could get one of our cool T-shirts. We have T-shirts on the Heroic Girls site under heroicgirls.com/shop. And we have a bunch of feminist flavored T-shirts, a Heroic Girls logo T-shirt that you could get, and that money goes into our general coffers and will help us fund the next round of this. And you can also just follow us on Facebook. Look for opportunities. We have volunteer opportunities. We're going to have more now that COVID is slowly maybe winding a little bit to a close. We're going to hopefully be able to get back and do some in-person events soon, and that'll create more opportunities. So, that's basically where we're at right now. We're looking for grant money and operating funds, and then opportunities to partner with schools and run that program again, because it did do so well for us.
That's awesome. So what you guys want to do is you obviously want to start by following them on all the social media, finding out what they're doing. When things get back to normal, they're going to be looking for volunteers to help with some of these things. And of course, if you're a teacher, an educator of any kind, reach out to John. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. And you want to go to their website and pick up one of the cool T-shirts and sport that thing around Sacramento. Well, Thank you very much for joining us, John. I do want to point out that you have an awesome Melissa book back behind you.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite, and I know, Ben, you're quite a fan too, of local artists. I bought that from your shop, actually.
Yes, and they're available. Unfortunately, Melissa isn't joining us this year, but we've got them on the shop, and she's awesome. I'll do a post about her later.
You should do a post about Melissa. So,
time.
Thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, John. I appreciate all the info. Everybody go check out the website now and go to the social media and see what they've been posting. It's always fun to see what pops up on their feed. I'll talk to you in the shop, John.
All right. See you later, Ben. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you. Okay, we're back with Heather Lee, who you will all know. She has her hands in a lot of different things too, but we're going to talk about what you'll probably know her most from the last year here at Empires that you might not have even known. Welcome, Heather. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi.
Hey there. Thank you also for joining us on Good Day Sacramento this morning. We did a segment and talked about the event and about Heather and Kristine. So that was nice. That was a fun little prep.
It was, yeah.
So let's talk about what I was talking about in the intro. The thing that people probably will know you from here at Empires for the last year but won't realize it. The masks that are sitting up on the front counter were made by you.
That's correct.
And they have been a lifesaver for so many people. You won't believe it. There's a lot of people who, knowing that we're going to be wearing masks for a while, have been picking them up and storing them, using them as a fashion statement. And there are a lot of people who are like coming out and they're like, oh my God, I forgot my mask. I've got a ton of errands to run. And there they are, right on the counter. So the obvious question, the answer is obvious. I know why you started making them, but what prompted you to do it with so many different varieties and to get stuff out there like this?
Probably because I couldn't find anything that I wanted to wear. So I just started sewing just for something to do, selling them up for a little bit. I gave away a lot to some healthcare workers I know. And then I just sort of started mentioning it. I mentioned to you in the shop and you were like, oh, well, we could carry them. And so I was like, okay, great. And then it just took off. It exploded. I had them in 5 different shops. So this is pretty cool. Definitely been a helpful thing for me during the pandemic.
Yes, because, and there's the thing we haven't even mentioned now. I guess it goes without mentioning, but we should. One of the reasons that this event is online and that we're continuing it despite the restrictions and not doing anything in the shop is that all of these ladies have not had a venue to get out there, sell their wares, stuff that they've got stocked. I know for people like you who do crafts with the fabric, you've got a stockpile of stuff that's just sitting there that you've already purchased. So having things like this on the counter or having events like this where you can go to their websites and check their stuff out is really helpful to all of them. And like I said, you've got your hands in so many things. You've got a lot of stuff just sitting around the house at this moment.
I do. I have a lot of stock. I do a lot of different things. I consider myself a mixed media artist, so and a multimedia artist. So I will just sort of dab my hand in different things so that it keeps me interested in what I'm doing. I like actually meshing them together. So I'll mix my photography with my graphic design with my textiles, because you can print photos on textiles. You can then I'll work with wire. I started making wands recently. I paint. I do a little bit of everything.
Yes, you do. When we first met you, your big thing is, and I know you still do some of this, is photography.
Yes.
So
yeah, I do a little bit. Photography was kind of a focus at that point. It's definitely still a focus for me. But I actually just got into UC Davis to their design program. So they actually
congratulations.
Thank you. The design program there, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. So it's perfect for me because they have textiles and they have photography and graphic design. It's all in the same degree. So I can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that.
Okay, well, let's walk through them all since you have so many things to talk about. Let's start with the photography because that's where you started.
Yeah.
You would take pictures of, life graveyards you had,
yes.
and then you had different sizes. What was the inspiration for the photography?
I had always been interested in photography because I've been an artist since I was like little. And I've always just kind of bounced around and done a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I always really, really wanted to do photography. And I finally got myself a proper DSLR camera. And I think I hadn't really gotten into it before that because I wasn't super interested in like the developing film side of everything. And then when digital became such a good medium, then that's when I finally got my camera. And amusingly enough, I started it. I mostly started with because I do the photography for Supreme Pro Wrestling. So that's where I started, is with the action photography. And then I took some photography classes, and that's where I got into the landscape and everything. And then I actually just really like pretty much any kind of photography. So it'll all be mixed up. You can see, so I have, let's see, over here I have, this is like just a desolate, I call this one Apocalypse, because it looks like the end of the world to me. And then, you know, up here, this is a picture, it's a cat, obviously, but I then took it into Photoshop and manipulated it, and now it looks like a painting. So yeah, I love playing with all of that stuff.
And you still do photography. Obviously, you still do stuff for Supreme Pro Wrestling, which, if you guys don't know, is our local wrestling group. Yes, wrestling here in Sacramento. If you haven't seen it, check out Supreme Pro Wrestling. But you also continue to do it because one of the pieces you brought for the art gallery this month is a photo, and then you used physical media or medium on top of it.
Yes. So I really like mixing my media. So what I did was I had a photograph. It was an abstract photograph to begin with, that I manipulated with the colors in Photoshop, and then I actually embroidered on top of the photograph to accent the photograph. So it's definitely multimedia.
Yes, so you guys will see that up here on the art wall this month. So then let's move on. From there, what was the next thing you took up?
Actually, embroidery is the very first thing that I ever ever did. I learned to cross stitch when I was 8. So textiles is actually me kind of looping back around to what I started with. What you saw me start with was photography, but what I started with was embroidery and textiles. And so that piece you're talking about, it actually just brought those two things together, which I really enjoyed. I've also done a lot of wire work. I've taken jewelry classes. And so my most recent thing that I've been working on is wands. So I make, hold on, there we go. It was attached. So I don't know how well you can see this. This is actually one of the ones that's on Etsy. So unlike most wands that you see, well, let me try to get it into the frame. There we go.
Perfect.
Most of them have some sort of wood incorporated in them, and I don't have any wood. I use jewelry making techniques to wrap the wire and wrap the stones. And I use real gemstones in the wands, so that they are very unique. I haven't found anyone that I'm aware of that makes them like this.
And the origin of the wands is kind of funny, because you didn't go into this attempting to make wands. You were at a con, and tell them the story because it's kind of cute.
Okay, so I was I when I'm at a convention, I have to, yeah, that's so much better picture than on my video screen. I get bored at conventions, so I try to bring stuff, but it's hard to do a lot of things. Like I can't do embroidery because I'm sitting there and I have to count stitches, and if somebody comes up, then it throws me completely off. I don't like drawing in public. My drawing is probably I do have some stuff that I've drawn that people see, but mostly that's sort of the thing I'm least confident in. So I brought my wire stuff, and I actually had thought that I might make wands when I was doing it, when I brought it, but I actually started making wands, and it was just so much fun. I'm just sitting there wire wrapping as I go because I'm used to it. And I made like 5 or 6 that day, and I actually sold 3 of them like that. So yeah, so I was like, oh, well, these might actually be a thing.
Yeah, as they're coming off the assembly line, people are buying them immediately. So you're like, yeah, this let's definitely keep going. So yeah, so you've got the wands. Now, of course, all of this can be found where? Let's throw that out there real quick.
Okay, so I have I'm Geek and Magic on there we go, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Etsy, and TeePublic.
That's perfect. So you
yeah, and on Instagram I have, you can see from my Geek and Magic, I have a couple extra Instagrams. I have one specifically for my photography and one specifically for wrestling, because I do the photography, I do posters, and I'm actually working on making some gear for some of the guys. So all that stuff will be on the wrestling page. Every once in a while I usually post like a little snippet of something on my main Instagram and say, hey, if you want to see more wrestling stuff, go over here. If you want to see more photography stuff, go over here.
Gotcha.
But on Twitter and Facebook, and I only have the one. Etsy is where you can buy stuff. But I have tons of stuff that isn't on Etsy because some of it's hard to sell online. Some of it's hard to take pictures of really well. But it pretty much anything you can see on my Instagram is probably available, especially if it's a photograph, because I do prints. So
okay, perfect. Now someone has asked, did they see rings in the background?
There are not. There were rings on. There are some rings on Etsy. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I do wire wrapped rings. I don't do them very often because they're so hard to sell, because they have to be so specific size wise. But if I'm happy to do custom pieces, I have
all those there. Yeah, and of course we have somebody just said they have a mask. They didn't know how much they needed a wand till now.
Oh, well, awesome. And I can do custom wands too. If there's a particular stone that you're looking for, all of my wands are completely unique. I let the wire talk to me, and the stone. So I just kind of let it sort of flow. So I don't think I could recreate a wand if I tried, to be honest.
Yes, they look like they would be unique even if you tried.
Yeah, they would be. Even if I made 5 with exactly the same, they would all still be at least a little bit different than each other, just because of it, due to the shape of the stones, and the size of the wire and stuff like that.
Okay, well, really quickly, let's look at what else you got back there. Any other things that we want to show them?
Let's see. Well, I do soap as well. Not quite to the extent that Kristine does them, but I do. Oh, you can't even see that in my thing. It's you can see them on my Instagram. They're just cute little things. Let's see what else. This is a tote bag that I made. It's a pride tote bag, so it's got a little pride fabric and a little rainbow heart on it. There's a smaller Totoro tote bag in the shop with you.
And we've got a one-of-a-kind superhero skirt.
Yes, that is the only one of its kind. I don't have any more of that fabric, so I can't make more. Some of my textile work, so I will take jeans and repurpose them. So there's I do I'll stitch fabric on there. I paint on there. There's embroidery on there.
All right, so there.
Yeah, these ones are actually on Etsy, but I can do these custom as well, because like rings, they have to be just the right size for whoever they're made for. So I can do those custom as well.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. I'm going to probably be doing a lot more textiles with going to UC Davis. That's going to be my main focus, is textile work with some graphic design, and then they'll all be mixed together. So I'll be working on surface texture design. So, drawing something and then having it printed on fabric. So,
perfect. Well, there's plenty for everybody to take a peek at. Make sure you head over and follow her. Check out the Etsy, and of course, custom stuff she has said she will do. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Heather. It was great to talk to you. I
Thank you.
time on a good day with you this morning. And everybody, go check out her stuff, see what you can find, pick up a wand, grab a soap, and we'll see you in the shop, Heather.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
So here we are, back with is this the third time that we've seen you, Aaliyah? Welcome to Creative Women MiniCon. I'm excited to see what you have. Your art continues to change, and that is absolutely fantastic. Welcome to yet another Creative Women.
Hello. Thank
How are you doing this morning?
Good. How about yourself?
I am having a great morning. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad you signed up and did this again because you continue to just keep pumping things out and doing things. How have you been creatively over the last year with everything that's been going on?
Pretty good. I guess I've had more time to do stuff over the pandemic because I guess like there's no like going to school. So I've been at home, so I've been able to have more time to do stuff.
Well, that's great because a lot of people haven't been able to utilize that time, whether it's been a artist block or whatever. You have continued to do stuff. Now, when did you start doing art?
Probably when I was like in like the beginning, probably like in 4th or 5th grade when I was like around 8 or 9, because I saw my Aunt Cassandra doing art and I went to a few of her cons that she actually did in your shop. And yeah, I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to try. And then I also got my cousins into it too, and we all started doing it together, kind of.
So no, that's pretty neat because I remember seeing you behind Cassandra's table when she was here, and immediately the very first time you were here, you came up and were like, "How do I get involved in this? How do I be part of it?" Which was great because then that gave you some incentive to get some stuff done, which you continued to do and continued to pour it out. And then the next year you were here behind your own table and you were able to join us for Creative Women Online last year. So what have you been working on during the pandemic now that we've been talking about it?
Mostly just like a few drawings, mostly my own OCs. A lot of them were for some of them were for fandoms and others weren't. And yeah, that's basically it. And then I've done other projects for like my art class, like the one that I did for Regina. And then I have a couple things that aren't on my Instagram that I did that I haven't just posted yet.
Okay, but you will post them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and that's neat. So you're obviously heavily influenced by anime. You do love anime and manga.
Yes.
Are there any of those that in particular that you would cite as your biggest influence?
Probably My Hero Academia and Michikora Hatchin. I think mostly those two for
the ones that give you the biggest influence. Now, you said some of it's fandom, some of it isn't. Now, the stuff that you're creating on your own, is that for something that you may develop and something that you may want to put into your own comic book?
I was thinking about it. I might in the future, probably not right now. But I've had a few ideas that I've been wanting to do. And I'm just trying to think of how to do it because I've never really done anything like that yet.
Okay, well, you're doing the first thing, which is getting the ideas rolling around, doing some character designs and things like that. And that would be interesting. That would be great. Next year, God, it'll be back to October, hopefully next year, to have something like that in the works. That would be really fun to be able to show people and talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you'll think about that. But I'm glad to hear that you've actually been creating things and doing things and that you've been developing them. Have you had a chance to go out and check out any of the events that have been going on, art related, or have you been pretty much inside?
Not. I've been mostly. I haven't gone to anything yet, but I've been wanting to. I was supposed to go to SAC Anime, the one that was this year. I think it was on April 1st or 5th or something like that.
Mhm.
I didn't end up going because that day I was busy, but I plan on going the next one to go see stuff because I know they have a lot of art vendors there, and you can get a lot of ideas there.
Now, have you thought about producing enough to get your own table at an event like that?
I have, but I think that I feel like I should wait a little bit. Probably like not. I don't think I would do anything this year. I think it would take me probably like another 2 years
Okay.
to actually think of something that big because I've only done smaller events like this one, and I did a contest at the Pumpkin Festival a few years back.
So yeah, I was going to ask you about that actually. So what was the contest at the Pumpkin Festival?
It was basically it was I forgot what the prompt was. I think it was something pumpkins around the world, and you had to do something that had to do with the prompt. And I did a pumpkin. I did the earth shaped like a pumpkin. It was
Nice.
a giant painting, and I won the People's Choice for that one. I don't have the medal with me right now, but yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty cool actually. Did you post a picture of the piece on your Instagram so that people can check it out?
No, I didn't have Instagram at that time because I was 5th or 6th grade. So
Okay.
yeah.
You should post it up there with a picture of the medal too, just to let people see.
I would have to find it. I think I might have
Nice.
thrown it away because it was really old. I have
Okay,
I have the medal, but I don't think I have the painting. I would have to look for it.
Okay, all right. Well, if you have it, post it because it would be interesting to see. And of course, everybody, you're going to want to follow her and see how these things develop. But let me ask you about your process then. What kind of medium do you use? Do you use pens, pencils, color pencils? I mean, how do you produce these pieces?
Usually I do just a sketch with pencils, and then I transfer it to digital because I find it somewhat easier to do color digitally, and I don't have all the colors that I need to do traditional.
Gotcha. So the colors are all done digital.
Yes, but everything else is for the most part traditional except for the color and the line art.
Okay. And it's kind of nice that you have that ability to do that because the computer will allow you much more flexibility when it comes to colors and refining the piece. Now, when you get the pencils moved over, or do you ink too, or just pencil?
Just pencil.
So when
Sometimes it just depends. Sometimes I will, but other times I won't.
Okay. Well, when you're using the computer, I mean, I guess you can cover a lot of that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
When you pencil and then move to the computer, do you also tweak the artwork, or do you just go straight to colors?
Sometimes I'll just do like the base first, and then I will add everything like the hair and the clothes and the eyes. Or sometimes I'll do the entire drawing and then I'll just color it on there. It really just depends on what I'm trying to do.
All right. It depends on the individual piece and what you've got going on over there. So yeah, no, please. There's the Instagram right there that you're going to want to follow so you can see the changes and the things that she's going to be posting. And of course, you're going to want to look out for the characters that she has originally done so that hopefully we'll see that in some kind of a story at some point, even if it's just a quick web comic like a Calvin and Hobbes one panel thing. That would be fun to see if you could do something like that. And then when we get back to normal, get her back in the shop and do some stuff there. Now, is there anything we should look out for that you're working on right now that you're going to be posting?
I have right now I just haven't had the time because I had like an art block for a good month, but I have one thing that is coming up that I'm going to post. Right now I'm just working on coloring it, but it will probably be finished within this week, so you can look out for that.
Okay, and that'll be on the Instagram page.
Yes.
Okay, and the art blog, are you updating that still?
Yeah, I am.
What's the art blog so they can go check that out?
Or no, not that type of art block. Like I don't know. I haven't been drawing for like probably a good month right now.
Okay, no worries. Then stick to the Instagram, everybody. Check that out. Thank you for joining us. It's always great to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to getting you back into the shop for another event. But please keep drawing, and if you can find the pumpkin and the medal, take a picture of them together because that would be really neat to see.
Okay, I will.
All right. Well, you have a great one, and keep drawing.
You too.
We will be right back with Julie the Mayor, who you will all know as soon as you see her. If you don't know her by the name, the mayor of a fantastic little town. We'll be right back. All right, this is going to be fun. We have Julie Okahara. You will know her from many art walls, from many cons here at the shop. She has got a painted style that is very unique, and she uses fabric with the paintings as well. But right now, she's doing something really fun over on Twitch, and we welcome Julie Okahara, better known as Julie the Mayor, to the show. How are you? Hey, Julie.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. Thank you
cool.
For joining us here.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Of course.
Long time no see, Ben.
It's been weird for all of us, right? But I'm glad to have you on. Now, tell us a little bit about this Julie the Mayor, who you guys will see in the bottom right of her screen. What is Julie the Mayor and what is going on?
I can actually show you a little bit if you like.
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Let's go into our mayor's office. I can properly introduce myself. Maybe we should do that. Let's
Yes,
go.
let's
Let's
make it
go.
formal.
Yeah. Where's the door? Where's my door? I know what I'm doing. Wait, no, not that one. Oh no, this one.
This is the mayor's office?
No, wait. I can't go into the mayor's office. There we go. I'm a little bit smoother normally. Oh boy, I'm a little bit nervous.
That is great. So thank you for having me in the mayor's office here.
Yeah, welcome in, Ben.
I would like to take a look around here. We've got, look at that. Oh, wait, is that the mayor?
No, I'm the mayor. Well, my kitty cat Tiber helps me. He likes sitting on my chair. Definitely, I'm not the mayor. I'm the mayor. I'm the mayor, not him.
Not the cat. Not
him. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this Twitch stream that you do and what people can expect.
Whenever people come in for the raid, I welcome everyone here because this is like a formal office area. But I do share what when I make art. I do share my art, and also we do go outside to town to explore our little town. We go places like a coffee shop, convenience store. We have a little post office in there. Little things like that.
Now, I notice, Mayor Julie, that your desk is quite a mess.
Well, yeah, maybe.
So essentially, well, first off, how often do you stream?
I do stream every day, Monday through Thursday. Yeah, that's my schedule.
And what time?
We call it Julie o'clock because I'm not so great at time, but somewhere around the afternoon. Sometimes early afternoon, sometimes later afternoon.
So they have to be on the ball, and they have to.
Yeah.
Now, the neat thing about this stream, and if we could put up what that stream is, please. The great thing about the stream is that you are. Oh, where are we going?
Let's get back to our table, right? Shall we?
Yes. The great thing about this stream, and it's really neat, is it's interactive. Julie has the whole town. She's got characters that you can meet. And while she's doing the stream, there's a chat. So you can talk with Julie. You can interact with the environment. And since it's live and it's not scripted or an animation that's already been done, you get to help determine the events of the day. And there's actually ways for you as a participant to make some of the characters say what you want them to. Correct, Julie?
Yes.
And go ahead.
So it's getting bigger and bigger lately because we've been working a whole year last year, very focused on creating characters, people in a town, and then we were just hanging out together. But every line that characters speak, town folk speaks, is all by our chat. And then I'm doing that kind of like improv type of show altogether. It's all animated with my watercolor pieces, so it's a little bit different, looks different from traditional animation, I think. But all the character background and the characteristic of each one of them are all built by our little community.
Yes, and we've got some of your fans on here talking. Doodletown is the best. Somebody said it's just like you're in Doodletown when you see them talk.
Yeah,
which is great. So no, that's really neat, and people should check it out. You remember when you head over there, it is Julie o'clock. Don't count on any particular things.
You gotta get the special clock. Tells you when is the Julie o'clock.
Yes, that's the clock, which is just keeping the Twitch open and hoping that you're going to stream at some point. But it's always Monday through Thursday. But this is Julie's project that she's really put a lot into now. But there's a lot of stuff that you do on the side outside of this, and we can see some of it right here. Why don't you show us some of the things, or tell us what some of these things on the table are?
So these are my my paintings that you have seen before, I use acrylic paintings with fabric on. So it's a three dimension, maybe 2.5 dimension. I call it mixed media. But lately I've been doing teeny tiny art.
Now, how tiny is that?
It's, I think, maybe 2 inch and 2 inch, maybe smaller.
And is that original artwork on there?
Yeah, it's my watercolor and ink.
Oh, wow.
And then I have like this little guy. It's just, I don't know. I never really know, but I like small things.
That's neat. And these are all small things. What else do we have down there? I see a few things.
Yeah, and then so the biggest thing it's coming up for us in Doodletown, we are having our own convention on Twitch. We did it last year, actually matching with last year's Women's Minicon, but this year we are doing it on a separate day. It's going to be a huge event for us. Actually, if you like, so the event is also, of course, free because it's on a Twitch. But if you do like to get some goodies, you could purchase VIP ticket pack, which comes with a personalized JuliCon badge. It gives you the date and all the information that you need for the convention. With a lanyard that we designed.
Wow, this is like a real common Doodletown. How do you get the lanyard and the badge?
Oh, you can go to my website. I think, I've only put it up right here. You can check out all the information there. Yeah, you can just get the badge if you like, or with a lanyard, or VIP bundle pack give you the lanyard card and the acrylic pin, and then this little tiny pin button pack. All of them come with it. Yeah, you have a choices there.
So now, why don't you give us a little idea of what they can expect at JuliCon? Because they're going to join you in Doodletown, correct?
Yes. So the first day, I said it Saturday. So it's going to be July 10th and the 11th. And then on Saturday, we are doing, we call it Artist Alley. Means I set up my table as if you are at the Artist Alley in front of my table. So you can look at what I have, like these creations, and if you like, you can purchase it on the spot. We did it last year. If you were there, if you remember. So this is the Artist Alley style on Saturday, and then Sunday we're gonna go out to the convention center, our convention center in the town, interacting with other people, townsfolks. Yeah,
nice.
Townsfolks are like. Yeah, here's our favorite deli-kun, barista-kun. Everybody has a name. Baito-chan. These are the townsfolk.
Okay, and now as you interact, just so I can get a feel of what we are going to expect, are they going to have their own booth set up, or are you just going to go talk to them?
I think they're gonna have their own booth set. I have to talk to them what they want to do, what they want to have, and stuff. I have a feeling Barista runs the coffee shop in the town, so I feel like he will be doing like some sort of cafeteria type of, thing on the convention center. Delicun is a delivery boy in the town, so he might be, I don't know what he has, but supposedly our community came up with it. He has his own channel on not the YouTube, DeliTube. So he might be talking about his own creation content. Baito-chan runs a convenience store, so she might be bringing in her merchandise.
Okay, so there's on both days there's going to be stuff for people to get their hands on.
Yes, and then I think it'll be 2 days will be totally different experience for the convention.
Which is actually fun because, yes, exactly. Just so that they can have something to come back for each and every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've shown us all the small stuff. I know you don't have it. We can't really fit it there. You also do large media
yes.
With your stuff. And is there anywhere that people can see that as well?
if you go to my website, you can see my paintings, older works, or current works, and what I do more about on Twitch as well. I do animation as well, but I like getting to know my community. Like, I made so many friends through Twitch, and then it's really fun to hang out, talk while I make art. But sometimes I ask everyone like what to draw, and then I usually mix 2 or 3 words together. I get the keywords, random keywords, and then we try to mash 2 keywords together and then come up with something fun.
Okay, now speaking of taking influences like that, do you take commissions from people as well if they want something specific?
Right now, no, because I am really, my plates are really full with my project and other things I want to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, they can obviously go to julieokahara.com to do any purchasing, correct? That's where everything is set up?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And am I correct in hearing that you have a code available?
Oh, yeah. So if you're watching this one, and if you're in, I'm assuming it's more catered to local. So I'm having a code special for this event for free US shipping. I think Ronnie has it. I think.
Yeah, we'll pop it up there. Now,
Okay,
what did they get by using the code?
The free shipping.
Perfect.
United States.
Okay, so that's the code right there. You get the free shipping, and no, you'd be surprised. I've seen plenty of people in here who are not from around, who are watching because they heard about it or because one promoted it. So that's actually a really good one, so that they can get it into their hands. Can we go back into Doodle Town for a moment?
Doodle Town. You want to see the town?
I would like to see just a couple more places before we wrap up, so people can see. I mean, the mayor's office was really messy and left a bad taste in my mouth. So you know.
Oh my goodness! Wait, can you give me a second, though? Because I have to actually, get ready, grab my purse, and go out. If you give me 30 seconds, I can get ready.
Time. And then we'll just talk about more of the stuff that Julie's done. You guys, of course, you've seen her on her art wall. She's been part of Free Comic Book Day for years. Creative Women. One of the things that was really neat is when News and Review was around, they had a cartoon contest. Julie and I worked on a piece for that, and it showcased Broly, of course, and something local in Sacramento, which was neat. And it was the Doggy Dash, which I miss dearly. It's 2 years in a row I haven't gone. And it was great because we also used it as a caption contest to give away some free stuff. So, and you'll notice Julie, and Julie, you tell me when you're ready. We noticed Julie, when you leave, Julie's painting is right above the door. And it is absolutely great. It is Amelia Earhart, I'm going to say. Julie will never tell me what her paintings are. She makes me tell her. And then when I make assumptions, she will say things like, I guess that's what it is. So each one of her paintings is going to be unique to you. And mine is Amelia Earhart flying a pug. And why would she not? If she had flown a pug, things might have gone better. No, pugs have no sense of direction. So, all right, we're here. There we are. Show us what we've got here, Julie. Where are we?
Oh, sorry. We are currently. I just got out, so we are here outside. Yay!
Oh, and you did get your purse.
Yeah, I did. We can walk around here in the town. Hold on a sec. Oh, Ben, I wasn't ready for this. Not gonna lie, you're putting me on the spot. Did you know that?
It's all right. You just show us what you want to show.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful little town there.
Let's see. Just a moment. But thank you for giving me a little time here too. Oh boy.
What? So what is up with that flying heart above you? It looks like it's candy.
Oh yeah. He showed up around, I think, Valentine's Day. I don't know. A lot of things happen spontaneously in the town, and a lot of mystery we have to kind of solve.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's hanging out with me, like when I walk. He's always like with me, sticking around. Sometimes he show up. He show up in our studio too. Hang out from. he kind of peeked from outside, like through the window, which is kind of,
Yeah, he did. It doesn't disturb you that he just follows you around right above your head?
Yeah. Technically, guys, I'm totally talking to Ben on the phone. Ben, you are on a speakerphone. That's why everybody can hear. You guys are totally in the Doodle Town. You know, right?
They were all right behind you. You're gonna take us. Well, where can you? Oh, that's awesome. You can actually.
Yes.
There's where JulieCon's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, I heard JulieCon is technically happening. Technically happening on the moon in the town. So we gotta go outer space. I don't know how though. I haven't heard any detail about it. Town council hasn't told me about it. So,
okay.
Yeah. But it's happening. It's gotta happen. Hi, Delica. We need to move a little bit.
Is this our delivery?
Yeah. Delicon is here. Wait, hello. Can we maybe say hi really quick to everyone and then Ben, maybe? Yeah.
Hey there.
How are you doing, Delicon?
All right, I'll take it. A man of a few words.
Oh boy. Wait. I actually shoot. You guys can't hear him today.
That's okay.
Oh no. The setup is not right. Sorry.
We will be able to hear on Monday when you
yeah. Sorry, I actually asked my community members to hop into my channel to try it, but I totally forgot. We are not sharing the desktop. Well, it's backend story, but desktop sound with you, so you don't hear. I hear him talking loud and clear.
Oh well, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll hear him on Monday when we do the live stream. Well, that is amazing. Doodletown is beautiful. It looks like a fun place. I'm glad I got to visit it. The heart left. It really does have a mind of its own, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yes, definitely.
Well, Julie, the mayor, thank you for joining us this morning. We are looking forward to JulieCon. You guys need to go check out her website. There is stuff to get right now. Get your passes to the con. Last year was a lot of fun, and you're going to want to see more this year. And of course, use that discount code below for free shipping in the United States, and then join her Monday through Thursday in Doodletown at Julie O'Clock.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, Julie. Have a good day as mayor, and hopefully the town runs smoothly.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone who joined us for Creative Women MiniCon 21. It has been another great year. We've been doing this for like a decade. We will keep doing it. If you know of anyone who would like to be involved next year, it's never too early to contact me. Have them do so. Or if it's you, shoot me a message, shoot me an email. We're always looking for new participants. And next year, we should be back to October. And of course, thank you to all of our guests today. That was wonderful. Please go check them out. Support local. Get something from them for Mother's Day, or just a gift for yourself any day. We will see you guys in the shop, and thank you for another great Creative Women MiniCon.